Hello, good morning, everybody. We are very, very happy to welcome you to the meeting of the Become project, boosting circular economy expertise through learning communities. Like that, it is called officially. And led by IDC Bled School of Management, this hub connects Slovenia, Croatia, and neighboring countries from Southeast Europe to drive the transition to a circular economy. And by uniting universities, vocational institutions, vocational training institutions, and businesses, we are bridging theory and practice to create real-world solutions. I have to say, this is something what our school is well known for. We are really liking to connect business to the academic community. And you will hear from my colleagues who are here more who else joins, what are we doing exactly. Marina Schmitz will be talking a lot. She's our great expert from Germany and working in our school also. Mirjana Matesic from Croatia, having also an important function there as a faculty member at the Faculty of Economics and Business. Arsel Kurmantayeva, who is from Kazakhstan originally, but working with us also and leading this project next to Marina, together with Marina, and Rok Ramshak, who is, I have to say, the spiritus movers behind this and other projects. The project is called Become, and Become, it's quite a symbolic name, and I would like to welcome you to Become Learning Community Slovenia today. Thank you, and enjoy the day.
Thank you, Danica, for the introduction and the welcome. And welcome everybody else. It's a pleasure to see so many different people from so many different organizations. It's nice to hear that it's not just our team that's so internationally diverse, but there's also a lot of diversity in our community that we're forming. Today we're just connecting online. There will also be a lot of events where we'll meet in person. It would be nice to start in person, but actually why we're connecting today online is because we also primarily want to also hear inputs from you, what you need, what you would like to see, and then base our work around that. So we have the best possible and most impactful formats developed. In the meantime, I'll just very briefly present the Become project, and then I will hand over the word to Mirjana, who will talk briefly about circular economy, and then we will move to the last part, or the core part, which is discussion about circular economy learning communities. We call it the Slovenian community, but we really, as Danica emphasized before, we want to connect with the broader region. So Become project is an Erasmus Plus funded project, a partnership for innovation. It's connecting higher education institutions, vocational training institutions, and several companies from different countries. And our main objective is to foster green skills, so circular economy skills of existing and future experts in this field. And there's two approaches how we're trying to support that or address that. So firstly, through development of circular economy skills. Basically, this means that we are, through research, identification of needs and importance, developing different kinds of educational formats, different programs that we will provide during our projects for members of the community and others. And all this will be for free, just as a side note. So different kinds of formats. We can expect some of these already in May, and we'll of course be informing you as we move along. And the second part, which is the core part of the projects, is by forming learning communities. So we are forming different learning communities in all project partner countries. This one is for Slovenia and the region. And here we really want to connect different kinds of stakeholders. Yes, of course, the companies will be, I think, the dominating force, at least in terms of numbers here. But we find it is equally important to have as many higher education institutions and education institutions in general, experts, consultants, NGOs and civil society organizations and form meaningful and productive dialogue between. The project formally launched already last year, but so far we have mainly been doing research, and now we're moving into a more exciting phase where we can open up communication with you as well. Maybe as a side note, please don't feel hesitant to turn on your cameras. So I would invite you to do so we can better communicate. If you have anything to ask, anything to comment, you're welcome to do that anytime. Just raise your hand or just simply turn on your mic. If you have any kind of issues in doing that, you can always have a question or a comment also in the chat. And we'll have a couple of surveys in the meantime, so you can also share your views through that. Just briefly, yeah, we're joining through the project partners from Finland, from Netherlands, from Slovenia, and from Bulgaria. In each country, there's at least one higher education institution. Often there's also one vocational school, and every time we have at least one company involved. In Slovenia, the core project partners, the one who were preparing this project application and designing it, were IEDC and Interzero. But we're also, I have to say, quite lucky that we have support from other partners as well. Mainly, I would like to thank Alpacem for supporting the project and the learning community in Slovenia. Next slide, please. Okay. Just very briefly still on the activities, and then we'll move on. So what we already started and we are now concluding is analysis of regional circular economy ecosystem and also learning needs. Based on this, we have now started developing first circular economy learning building blocks. What I said before, this simply means that we're developing educational programs. This will be a combination of online and face-to-face education, and in different kinds of sizes. So from longer, several day long programs to shorter like webinars for formats in 1 hour, also asynchronous. And we're hoping to develop this in forms of micro credentials. So whoever will attend this and successfully complete the programs will also get certificates and credit points for this. So this is already moving to the fostering skills, circular economy skills for professionals. This is this exact educational programs. Then forming the learning communities. This is what we'll be starting off with today. And lastly, piloting all that we have developed and then evaluating and updating if need be. Before I hand over word to Mirjana, who will talk briefly about circular economy in general, we also want to learn just a little bit about you. So we will have now a short survey just to see from which kind of sectors you come from. So we better understand also then the needs. Just wait for it to launch. Okay, I hope you can see and you can share your answers, which industry you primarily work in or are interested in. Okay, manufacturing, retail, educations. So far, we already know there's a good mix between education and industry, which is also a good sign. Non-profit as well, consulting, fintech, which wasn't on the list, but thank you for the comment. We'll also add that. Basically, what I can see from here, it's really, as we predicted, a very, very diverse group. So far, we're only missing representatives from the government. So we'll make sure to have them here at the next events. Okay. I will end the poll and I will give the word to Mirjana.
Thank you, Rok, and hello everyone. I'm so very happy to be part of this project. And I also think that circular economy is one of the very important tools to achieve sustainable development, which is not well understood and applied yet. I have put on this slide some of the explanation of what circular economy could be. Ellen MacArthur's foundation says that it's an industrial system that is restorative or regenerative by attention and design. It is also a pathway to sustainable development, while European Environmental Agency says that it's a model of production and consumption, which involves sharing, leasing, reusing, repairing, refurbishing, and recycling existing materials and products as long as possible. In this way, the life cycle of products is extended. I'm sure that we all understand what these definitions say, but we still also can agree that circular economy has not been implemented at the level which is expected and hoped for. On the other hand, as an environmentalist, I can tell you that probably the primary sourcing of resources for energy and production is the major cause of the environmental degradation, which is also a phase not seen by us producers and consumers. So very often we miss understanding how important it is to decrease our sourcing of primary materials. The circular economy would be our answer to that. We know that we are now in a linear production, which means that we still materials that we use very soon dispose of and they become waste. Circular economy is regulated by European Commission, meaning that there is an action plan for circular economy and some outputs or KPIs to measure success in circular economy are explained by the decrease of waste production or increase in recyclable materials put back into use, which usually put focus on the recycling and recovery of materials that already became waste. That's why I've put the scheme on the next slide, please, which explains the content of circular economy called our strategy or our hierarchy or our ladder, which explains that we actually have three phases in circular economy. One is talking about pre-use, one during use, and only one after use. The first phase is probably the most important, and it's entirely up to industry or the business to include. And it is the phase which is about development of the products, about design of the products, and about the choice of materials and energy input in the products. This way, the product can be less environmentally intensive, or it can be more durable, or it can be consisting of the materials which are not toxic or are less toxic and improving environmental impact. Use phase is a phase where we try to give longer life to products, to various activities such as reuse of products for some other people or some other owners, repair, which is giving obviously longer life to products, refurbish, giving, for example, new conditions or new extended use for some products that are already been disposed of, remanufacturing, giving products back to the manufacturer to prepare new products, or repurpose, giving products new use. And then final phase is post-use phase, which is actually a phase where we deal with waste by recycling and recovering options. We are hoping that we will, through these learning communities, discuss more about what this means, what redesigning of a product means, what are new business models that include, as already mentioned, products as a service or leasing, sharing, and other ways of decreasing the materials usage and then increasing the value of each product put on the market. To answer these questions, we need your help, because it's about discussing, it's about sharing knowledge, it's about learning from each other and understanding what possible methods, tools, and ways are there to become more circular. We are hoping that you will join us in future discussion, that you will engage so that we all can learn from each other. We know that we are living in an environment which is heavily polluted. We know that some of the materials that we use every day, such as plastics, have entered all of our biological life cycles. They entered our organisms, and that we actually have to work fast to change these patterns if we want a safe environment for future generations. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mirjana. Do we quickly also want to get into the experience level of our participants, maybe? So thanks for checking this question as well. So how familiar are you with the circular economy and the concept of circular economy? Not at all, somewhat familiar, very familiar, or maybe expert level. In that case, we might follow up with you in very much detail. And Rok, maybe you can help us to summarize a little bit the results, what our participants have mentioned.
We have, I'll share the results at the end also.
Wonderful.
But we have actually most of people saying very familiar, a couple of experts as well. So it's really nice, nice to hear that. But we have people from of all skill level types. So this will make our jobs actually very hard, because we need to have something ready for everybody. But I think that is also why it's important. You know, you might be an expert, so just listening about what circular economy is, you probably haven't learned much new. But we all need at least the basic level of understanding, so we can then engage into further discussions. Okay, I'll end the poll so you can all see the results.
Thank you.
And Marina, I guess we'll hand over to you.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah, thanks also for being here. Warm welcome from my side as well. We have had a bit of an introduction to get you familiarized with what we are intending to do in this project. But as Rok has also mentioned, one of the cornerstones or key cornerstones of this project is, of course, the learning communities, also the reason why we're all here today. And Mirjana has already pointed it out. So thinking about the different perspectives and possibilities of our strategies is, of course, something where we can all learn from each other. And every one of you might have or will potentially have in the future different strategies that you will engage in and engage with. And so you might ask yourself, what is maybe also our definition of a learning community and what you can expect? And we view it as a multi-stakeholder network. In our case, this is mainly companies. We have, of course, also universities, training institutions in our network. And also we intend to reach out to policymakers and discuss and share our insights and results with them, to also develop and implement circular economy solutions that will all benefit our circular economy learning community members. And now, more precisely, who is involved? Again, Rok mentioned it at the beginning, a larger share of businesses, because we believe that you are very powerful actors in the space. A lot of the experts are in the room today. Some of you are maybe more at the beginning, but again, no worries, because the learning communities, at least as we view it, is more of a exchange platform where we can also engage in peer-to-peer learning. So maybe some of you are more advanced and then can share how you approach the topic, how you started off kickstarting circular economy in your businesses and your institutions. And then others who are maybe a little bit later in the process can learn from what you have done right, but maybe also learn from some of your mistakes that you would turn into something else process-wise if you had known that before. Now, who else is part of the project? We have educators, we have universities. Again, I believe I'm not saying something wrong in pointing out that also especially IDC has a long history and a tradition in providing very much practice-focused insights, and not only been residing in the so-called ivory tower that is usually some of the prejudices that we're facing in education, but really being very hands-on, very dedicated to the region, to the community, and especially to companies. So there's a long tradition of IDC as an institution to reach out to practitioners and professionals in the space. And this expertise and experience we are also intending to bring to this project. And that is also why we launch and host events such like this, because we want to engage in a dialogue. Of course, we can develop something that we think is correct and useful for you, but then it might not be taken up by your side because you're at an entirely different starting point or different period in your journey. And of course, we want to make this as useful for you as we can, potentially. And so here in this space, and especially today, we want to get your insights, your experiences, and also what would benefit you as a user, so to speak, or member of this learning community. Again, the third party are the policymakers. So yes, we also do intend to inform the policymakers about what we are doing in the project, and so that they can also share with us some local incentives. I know it specifically also from the German context, so sometimes companies are also not aware of different supporting mechanisms, and so we can bring different stakeholders together so that we are all aware of the possibilities and opportunities that are in the space. Now, when it comes to the objectives, let me briefly summarize the short-term and long-term ideas that we have, and then we get back to an additional survey question to you. First of all, we are very much interested in increasing the awareness of circular economy principles, like the ones that Mirjana has shared just with you at the beginning, and not only from a theoretical perspective, but very practitioner-oriented, hands-on. So filling these examples and theories with live good practices, sharing good practices from your side, so members from within this community, but also external experts that we invite to this space. And of course, the community is only as good as the activities and the enthusiasm of its members. So we are very much interested in engaging and providing a network of engaged stakeholders. And we have, I think, a very high quality crowd already together today, and we intend to build upon this and also provide all of you with supporting materials. So we are intending to create a repository of different case studies, different exercises, booklets that will help you from a practitioner perspective to deal with the challenges that you might have at hand, and also a possibility for you to share your good practices and cases, success stories, and learnings, of course, with everyone. And Rock has also mentioned it at the beginning, we intend to provide trainings. First, we will kickstart with an educational training, because you and your companies and your institutions are probably also looking forward to recruit the best talent for the future. And we as educators have a responsibility to provide these resources to you and to train these talents. And so what we are intending to do is to provide them with the best practice knowledge so that they can be very effectively operating in your institutions. And then for the long-term perspectives, establishing the respective regions as a leader in circular economy innovation. So yes, we termed this the Slovenian hub because we are functioning as a project leads here with IDC in Slovenia. But then this is not an, let's say, exclusive community where we are excluding certain members or certain regions. So we are also very much interested in collaborating cross borders and also make the larger region more competitive in that specific field. And how can we do this? Fostering new business model ideas based on circular principles. So the ones that Mirjana has been mentioning are the core foundation of what we currently know as circular economy principles. And this is something that we would like to do in this project and specifically with the learning community. But now maybe up to you. So maybe thinking more about your motivation to join. So what is your primary reason for joining this learning community? Learning more about circular economy, the networking with like-minded individuals, collaboration, the contribution to a more sustainable future, or implementing circular economy principles in your business or in your organization. And then I will pass it over to Rok to share some of the insights. I'm very curious right now. So this is, of course, one of the more exciting moments to understand how you feel about the benefits and why you're here.
Yeah, I'm sorry you can already see the results as you fill out the survey. But again, we have people with interest from all levels. But maybe I'm happy to say that it seems that a lot of people are interested in making contribution to a more sustainable future, which is, I think, quite a nice view to have. I'll just leave it for a second or two more open and share the results. Okay. So I hope you can also see the results.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it looks very balanced to me as well. So we have quite a broad interest, which is always nice, so that we can also make sure to cater to all of the different motivations that we have here in the room. And again, this is also a warm invitation from our side to always share feedback with us, provide certain requests for the information that would be most beneficial for you and your institution. But in the following slides, I will also share a little bit more about the different communities and also how they function. So first of all, what we envisioned structure-wise would be that we have local hubs in different cities and different regions. So we mentioned that, of course, this is the community that is hosted in Slovenia, but is also more broader and open to the region, larger region in general. And then we have also 3 more learning communities in the different countries of our partners that Rok mentioned at the beginning. So we have communities in Finland, we have communities in Bulgaria, and also the Netherlands. And of course, what we are intending to do is to bridge the different country perspectives also as we move on in this project, and that you can also exchange perspectives with other countries, other members across borders. But for now, we are intending in this learning community to provide online and in-person collaboration opportunities and events. So we do have a mixture of online and on-site events. The online events will be, as for now at least, more frequent because we are all, let's say, spread out across different cities, maybe even different countries. And so it's probably more convenient for you also to join during your busy schedule and get some additional inputs. So what are the specific activities? I mentioned it, the monthly get-togethers and the knowledge sharing that we intend to provide. So not only from our side to you, but also the spillover from your side to us, and sharing also of materials that we developed and the community exchange in general. So it's not only the exclusive events that we have here right now, where we are sharing these opportunities for you to join, but also beyond that, we have groups on LinkedIn where you can exchange with interested peers across the project. Now, what are the expected outcomes of the project in general, but also the learning communities? Yes, we intend to develop circular business models and identify innovation potential together with you. To do this and be able to do this, we need your willingness to participate, your input, and also your requests, your challenges. What is bothering you? What is on your mind? To be more competitive, to use it also to your business advantage. Then also increased cross-sector collaboration between policy, education, and industry, so that we are really engaging in a dialogue that is beneficial and fruitful for all of us, and improving the skill set of the learning community members. So yes, some of you are more advanced, some of you are just starting off right now. And I think this is a wonderful opportunity to learn from each other and improve the skill set of the different members that we here have at hand. And then, of course, give and provide policy recommendations based on the real world data and insights from practice that we get from you. So maybe sometimes you might have, economy and aspects such as funding opportunities in the regions and also different other benefits. Additionally to that, we have an integration of practice-related circular economy principles into the university curricula. As I mentioned, we are interested to provide also more impetus to the labor market and to provide university students with the adequate skill sets so that they can be most effective in your communities. But maybe before I go into the role of the different communities, the educators and universities, what they're trying to do is embedding the circular economy principles in business, engineering, design courses. We are also very much interested to host an academic industry network events like the one right now. We are very much keen to support companies with research, with trainings on circular economy related topics, and to also encourage you to share your knowledge with us, but also with other industry partners. Now, when it comes to, let's say, your role as industry leaders, as businesses, we are interested in you as industry partners to present circular economy problems that students, but also researchers, educators will help to solve. That you can share your ideas in collaboration with the learning community members. Like I mentioned, maybe you have some challenges, some benefits that you have explored. And also business leaders can engage in the peer learning and share their experiences in events. So this is an opportunity also for you to showcase your expertise, but also to get additional knowledge and to provide insights for policy development and scaling of good practices. Now, when it comes to the benefits of joining the national learning communities, I just wrap it up quickly before we launch another brief survey question. Again, the knowledge and practical tools that support you in the development of innovative circular economy solution, collaboration with industry peers, creating a platform for shared learning and partnerships, and to bridge the gap of the different institutions and organizations to lead the transition towards a greener and also more resilient future. So please join us to shape and also change the pathway of how we are currently doing business for better, and expand our networks and contribute also to meaningful and sustainable progress, like you mentioned in the survey already. Now we are very much interested also in the formats, the ways to engage together with us. So which learning formats would you find most engaging? So you can click different kinds of formats, webinars and presentations, interactive workshops, case study discussions, collaborative projects, online forums and discussions, the networking, local meetups, conferences, guest speakers, study visits. So just select all of the ones that apply for you to be most effective as a member here. And then Doc, I'm sure, will help us again to summarize quickly what you have shared.
Yeah, again, there's interest in all types of formats, but maybe good news is that we have a long time ahead of us, so there's a lot of opportunities for different kinds of formats. But yeah, I think that meeting in person seems to be quite important for people, having touch with experts again. And I see case study discussions kind of leading ahead of other types of formats, which I think it's quite often that we see this also at IDC when we're dealing with sustainability, for example. What a lot of companies really like to see is either using the case study method to understand their own models and products and services better, but also to have an in-depth insight of what others are doing and take that as a source of inspiration. I'll wait a couple of more seconds. I think this question is a bit more complex maybe than the previous ones.
Exactly.
I'll share the results. Yeah, in conferences also, I think lead a little bit, which is again good news. Maybe here I can mention that already this year we are planning two bigger events. First one will be taking place May 30th. It is the Trends in CSR conference. And of course, you can note down, but we'll of course be inviting you all personally to join us. And we will have, yeah, just so you know, we'll try to take what we learned from you today and already integrate that into the conference. We'll see also if we can have a special event for all the community members there, a get-together, networking opportunity perhaps. Yeah, and then we'll have another event coming up, the BLIT Compliance and Ethics Conference. Well, we'll focus this year a little bit more on different kinds of regulation coming from Brussels and how this impacts us and what can we do, or maybe how we can go beyond that. And that will be taking place in the first half of October. Okay, I'll share the results. Yeah, and thanks for everybody to contribute. I think most of us are filling in. So
Perfect.
nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah, before we go into the discussion also, I think we have one final question for everyone to engage in the different topics and aspects. And so you're very much welcome to also have a look at that, because what we did right now is provide you with insights on structure, the expected outcomes. And you might be wondering, okay, we didn't tell you anything about the topics that we actually want to cover. Why is that the case? Because we want to make this something valuable for you. And yes, we do have ideas what makes sense. But again, you can also view now the survey on your screens, I believe, aspects of circular economy. Which aspects are you mostly interested in? Sustainable materials and design, waste reduction and recycling, product life extension and repairing, circular business models, supply chain optimization, change management, circular financing, policy and advocacy, and consumer behavior. So again, you can tick multiple answers. And I'm also very curious about this one, because it will steer us into the direction of which topics would be most valuable for you to learn more about.
Yeah, and again, there's interest in all topics in general, nothing left behind. Not surprising probably that circular business models are leading, because it is, I think, the overarching key area. Interestingly, maybe supply chain optimization is also kind of jumping out. So I guess it's also good news that at IDC we have already been developing seminars and education in the area of supply chain and sustainable procurement, particularly. So that will definitely be helpful. Circular financing seems a little bit behind, but I think it might turn out to be as equally, if not even more important topic, because whatever kind of innovation and change we will engage in, sustainable financing, circular financing will be an important part or important pillar that can help us achieve that. Okay, share the results with everybody.
Thanks. Yeah, looks very interesting. And absolutely, all of the topics have gained some traction, some interests. And then probably we will start with circular business models then for the next ones. Thanks once again for engaging and sharing this with us. Now, of course, I would like to invite your questions and questions you might have, maybe some suggestions from what you heard right now. Maybe you also want to share some wishes, some expectations, questions, any questions. Please, you can also turn on your mics or you can share it with us via the chat as you like. Giving you a couple of more seconds to think about that.
Hi, everybody. Yes, sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm Natasha Gladovic from Atlantic Grupa, and here are also on the call two more colleagues from our company, Mojca and Jana. First of all, many thanks to Danica Purk and the whole team for this excellent project. As I speak from the point of Atlantic Grupa, it's a perfect fit because we are the FMCG company working and present in the region. And yes, we need such internationally connections and international projects. Many topics that you mentioned already, yes, are very important for us. We as a company, may I say that we see ourselves as a pretty mature because we use two critical KPIs to measure where we are in the circular economy. We measure the share of recyclable plastic used and also the share of recyclable materials. We are far good with these KPIs when we benchmark with other similar companies. What I miss maybe in this project is the topic of thinking about contamination, because from the point of our company, we are a food company. And when you go circular, also contaminants can concentrate in the chain. So how about maybe this topic? I suggest to also think to include it because circular economy is not just circular, but also staying on the safe side for the consumer and for the environment as well. And as another thing, maybe to point that many companies, we can do much progress in our area of work, so inside our processes, but we don't think what will be after we put all this waste on the market. So if we design recyclable materials, are there further these recyclable materials also recycled? So what are the practices here from other companies, how to engage consumers, how to engage other institutions to help really develop forward the whole circular economy? That's from my part. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Asha, also for sharing that. I think this is a very valuable comment. I have worked with companies that have the same challenge. You mentioned food, but I've also been in touch with companies from the medical industry. They have precisely the same challenge because it's all about safety, security, and I believe that is a very important aspect that you mentioned. Anything also from Jana and Rok to share about this? I think it's a valuable comment for many industries, like medicine, food, others.
Yes, if I may jump in, thank you. Thank you, Natasha, for starting this discussion. And I can only agree that circular economy is about is about cooperation of all actors, of all stakeholders, and that company cannot become circular if the other stakeholders follow the part. So beside consumers, the governments or local municipalities who have to build infrastructure for separate collection and recycling of waste, definitely. But what we will try to do through this learning community is also engage with other stakeholders and see how can we all work together.
Absolutely.
Perfect, thanks.
Doc, you want to add something as well?
Just briefly, yeah, it's an interesting area that Natasha has mentioned. It can be perceived as a supply chain issue, and I think that's nice because we have certain kind of experience already, but it can also be perceived as a rather technical question, technical solution. We're a business school, so we have limited capacity in terms of that. But as we put already before, this is one of the key areas why cross-sectoral cooperation is important. And I think what we can do is facilitate that. So really thanks for that comment. Well, yeah, we have one comment in the meantime in the chat.
Exactly.
Maybe a question that we kind of hope you will help us all answer. And that is, what would be the next step for the community that we are building?
Exactly. Maybe I can jump in from my part, but and then I think it's also nice to turn it around and ask the community what would be most beneficial. But I pulled up this slide on the next webinar. So as I mentioned before, we are trying our best to provide you with events in input. The registration link will follow shortly. And the next webinar will be April 1st. So connecting sectors, unlocking potential, on practical approaches to collaboration, exploring challenges and opportunities, and cross-sector cooperation to drive the circular economy. Maybe one example from a company that I've been working with so that you can understand a little bit more what we mean here. We do find that a lot of businesses are working now together with startups, not only the bigger multinationals, but also small and medium-sized enterprises. One of them I have been working with, and they're in the steel materials and steel production or usage of steel as a raw material process. And so they are working on reducing their CO2 emissions and the footprint that they have. As per the regulation that also Rob mentioned before, we are all now dealing with the so-called Green Deal, and there are different, let's say, ambitions by Brussels and to impose regulations on companies. And what we are trying to do in this project is also to not put additional compliance heavy knowledge on you, but to understand how you can turn this compliance into real impact. And what we intend to do is then to give you some ideas, suggestions on what you can do. So, for example, that some of you, I guess, are dealing with the sustainability reporting right now that is mandatory for some companies. So the CSRD, for example, Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, one of the components, surprise, surprise, is also circular economy. And I know that a lot of companies, especially also in our project, have been asking us, okay, will you also provide us with help and support on how we can address this? Because we realize that most companies want to do something in this field and also have to report on the activities that they are performing in this field. And so the example that I wanted to share with you is, again, from this steel and steel-related products manufacturing. And they are working on producing different wires for different appliances. And so it's for, let's say, architecture, for example. They're using it for different filters, filtration technology. And so they're weaving metal wires. And of course, steel is the core product that they're using. And they, of course, know that this is high emission related. And so what they're doing is to engage in the circular economy domain by thinking about, can they use recycled steel as a product and not the raw material or the virgin material of steel. And so what they're trying to do is that in that specific project, they engaged with a company that is called Swiss Steel. and they are exploring technologies on how you can produce green steel or manufacture recycled steel that is like 80% recycled and has the same quality and also almost similar cost structure as the virgin material. And this is, I believe, something that we need some examples that we also provide to you, because sometimes you don't know like how many projects are out there, pilot projects where people are actually doing very interesting stuff. And so we want to connect you to the different people who are trying to facilitate these projects, and so that you can get new ideas what can be done, and that we also provide you with maybe workshops where you can engage and discuss with each other what are the challenges, what kind of potential do you see to understand your business model and how you can shape it. And I think these are very interesting aspects. I think we have a little bit of background noise here. Let's see.
It's okay now.
Perfect. Thank you, Rock. And then what we are trying to do, of course, here is to maybe engage in mentoring so that you can come up with your challenge, what you want to do. And then you can ask us, okay, do you know companies who are trying something similar? And we can then try to connect you to these people. So this is one idea what we can do. So answering Valeria's question quite precisely. So yes, one aspect is to give you ideas and to provide the webinars that we are currently launching monthly, but also to connect you in the learning community. And I think ways to engage here with us are different ways. So we have a project website that you can see here below. We have an email address where you can specifically raise certain questions. You can, of course, also email us personally if you wish to do so, but we do have a project-related mailing. We have also a LinkedIn. I think specifically here for all of you that use LinkedIn, I would strongly encourage you to join us. And there we will post regular updates, also examples, ideas, events. And then also for those of you who are interested more in Instagram and other platforms, there's also a channel right there. And so these are the ways where you can engage, and also the ways how we intend to provide the next steps. And as we get to know you more in detail, the more we can also shape our offerings towards what you're intending to learn. First, it's, yes, the webinar structure. The second would be a very strong recommendation to join our LinkedIn group, where we can post regular updates. And from there on, we would like to also reach out to you or to our learning community more precisely in more detail. So you might get mailings from us from time to time, advertising and promoting what we have been developing, additional events, but also asking you as part of a community survey, what would be some current challenges that you are facing. So if very similar also to what Natasha also mentioned before, have different challenges that you want to raise right now, that is different ideas, different perspectives that we can implement right now. And yeah, maybe also from Rock and Mirjana's side, if there's anything from your side to add, what are the next steps, what we intend to do, and how we intend to bridge the community, very much welcome to add.
Yeah, I mean, we have already created a list of over 12 events, I think, just meant for this Slovenian regional community. But this is a list of things that we think would be interesting for us all. But we would very much like to still adjust this according to your preferences, to your needs. What we have already learned, some of the things today, we can already take and further refine this. But of course, yeah, if you're still all very, very encouraged and welcome to share some more thoughts. But if not now, also please feel free to either call us, to write to us, and we'll make sure to adapt. You know, it can be suggestions or wishes regarding the community, but it can also be any kind of specific challenges that you're facing, or maybe we haven't emphasized this enough yet, also some good practices and good experience that you have had. When it comes to, maybe we talked a lot about or mentioned this several times, case studies. this would be then a really nice starting point for us to be able to engage, work on that, and also share that experience with others. And yeah, we can always look for resources within this learning community, but there's also other learning communities, I have to say, in organizations and networks in Slovenia. So we really wish to work very closely with them. And let's not forget, there's also other countries with also different kinds of level of experience. And we can also always turn to them for support. Maybe one thing that came out from my point of view today is and I will give you then the word that came up, is that we noticed we have people from all sectors, except for now from public or government sector. But I also saw that a lot of you answered you want to see engagement in area of policy and advocacy. So this is definitely something we can work in the future together with you. And I'm particularly excited with that, because we were wondering, should we go into that direction as well? But I think if we do, then cooperation is even more important, as I said, with other such networks, but also then by connecting all of us, you as a lot of companies, but I also see a lot of people from NGOs, civil society organizations. So this will be, I think, a really nice mix to tackle that. Absolutely. Anna, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Rok, and thank you very much, Ms. Purk, to invitation to this great project. I represent CER Sustainable Business Network. We do also different activities to help companies on the sustainable transition. And what we can offer to this group already, we just posted on our website the event. We are making delegation to Italy, to Milano, which is Center of Industrial Design, Circular Economy. It's in collaboration with Chamber of Commerce Steyerska and another SRIP Materials. The delegation will be at the end of May 2022, and I'll post in the chat the link. At the moment it's in Slovenian language, but we will translate in a few days also in English, so I'll share with Rok and Marina if anyone would like to join. Also the embassy will be there. On the event we will visit one part of the conference, Circular Economy Forum. Then we will visit headquarters of Generali. They will present how they implement sustainability in their strategy, and 3 other companies which are really deep in circular economy practices. So kindly welcome.
Thank you so much for sharing.
I think it's a really nice example of what could already be done, where we could already engage in, but also I think a nice example of what types of activities we could facilitate in the future.
If I can join, Rok, I know that you're about to go into the closure. I just wanted to say that the learning community will be the more successful, more people join. So I know that Anna, with her association and with her members, is a nice synergy to this. And we sincerely hope that we will cooperate with CER on this project. But besides CER, I also think that each company that is here today can also, or you guys can also invite your colleagues, and not just your colleagues, but your supply chain, your supply chains as well, because I think that's also the way to look into circular economy by helping you connect with your suppliers and see what options we have there. So that would be also nice to think about.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mariana, for this addition. Rok, do you want to close us off and send us into the day?
I would give you the honors, as I saw the main star of today's event, but I still, if I can, I would like to thank everybody for joining. I hope we gathered some interesting ideas, also gave you some ideas of what could be done in the future, and I would really encourage you all to write to us or engage in any kind of way so we can do the best that we set out to do.
Ranica, please.
The same thanks for me very much. I hope you understood, and I have the impression you did, that we can learn a lot together from each other, and we from you too, and especially from you. So thank you, and have a good day further. Thank you.
Mirjana, also some closing words from your side.
Only thank you, and hoping to see you on the webinar number 2, together with your colleagues in much larger numbers than today. See you soon.
Yeah, thanks to everyone. We were very excited and also honored that all of you joined, that we have also strong collaboration partners with CERE and also other institutions. And so thank you so much for your interest. We hope to sustain and even increase the interest in the learning community. And so, stay tuned for further notifications and information from our side. And again, this is not a directional street. So again, make this a dialogue together with us and reach out to us anytime you like. So thanks for joining and have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Hvala.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Bye.